And Andrew said, it's lovely to see everybody. I go back quite a long way. And, you know, it's just thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. It's been quite a week, really. Had a wonderful time. And I guess you've probably gathered this is all Mum and Dad's 24 of us all sat down the middle. We go from the three of us at the top here, and Cliff. Most of you know Cliff, and Rachel, Roger's wife, and Becky. And then we've got the 6 grandchildren of Roger and Andrew, and then my 2 children, Tim and Julia, are sat at the bottom. I'm sure some of you knew them when they were little, with their husbands and wife and their children. There's my 6 little granddaughters, which are Mum's 6 great-granddaughters, so that's all of us here. So, well, I've had a few nights sort of sitting up thinking I must put something together, so I thought I'd do it in a bit of an ode. Can you all hear me? Yeah? Okay. So I'll just tell you a little, I'll just read a little ode to you. So it's an ode to Mum and Dad for their diamond wedding. She met him in her early years, arranged by brother Jim. She spied him in his wellies and loved his cheeky grin. 2 villages apart they lived. He had to ride his bike. She waited and she waited, and this she didn't like. Eventually he did turn up. Frog Alley was the place. He'd rattle on his bone shaker to see her pretty face. He lived at home with Ethel and worked with brother John. They cooked the swill and milked the cows. The days were very long. She lived at home with Albert and dearest Dorothy May. Smart and prim she always was, and still beautiful today. By 51, the date was set, a wedding had been planned. Brother John was always there to lend a helping hand. She wore her green and pillbox hat. He wore his pins and gabardine mac. A splendid day was had by all. Then London on the train. They waved goodbye to all the guests, and much to their surprise, their family were at Waterloo just as the train arrived. All organised by brother John, who liked to play a joke. We gather from dear old Dad, he was a cheeky bloke. Life started out at Brooklet Farm, attached to the old farmhouse. Chickens, ducks, cows and pigs, even a friendly mouse. He milked the cows and knew their names and sang a little song. And if you were very lucky, he would yodel with his prong. She was happy in the home, a cooking and a cleaning. She cooked a tasty meal and baked a perfect cake, a real good farmer's dinner. And if you've tried her trifle, well, you know it is a winner. A daughter, then 2 sons were born. It made them very happy. They built a house not to move far, and soon she learnt to drive a car. They loved to dance the night away and go to Salisbury races. He always looked so dapper in his dicky bow and braces. They liked to go to Weymouth or up to see Aunt Vic, sometimes down to Devon, and always fish and chips. She became the village postmistress and sold a stamp or 2. Chatter, chatter, all day long, sometimes quite a queue. On Thursday she'd get out the way. He always called it pasty day. He'd check his bees and make some tea. Sometimes he liked to have a bet, followed by a cigarette. The 80s took a different turn. They bought a little farm. They packed their house and moved away. He had to twist her arm. A brand new build the second time, and everything brand new. He bought pigs and cows and chickens, which kept him very busy. He also had a lot of cats, his favourite one called Dizzy. By then the children had left home. She liked to go to town. She drove her little car around, she liked to go to Rome. She drove her little car around, spent many afternoons in town. Marks and Spencer's and other shops, buying dresses and new tops. By the new millennium, the family had grown. They now have 24, 8 of them grandchildren, and then they gained 6 more. Their love for one another shows. She dresses up, he wears his bows. They like to sit and watch TV with a chocolate bar or 2, and sometimes known to pour a glass of brandy. Wouldn't you? You may have known them a short time or maybe all their life. I am sure that you will all agree they've had a charming life. Mum and Dad.
Well done. Dad, do you want to stand up and say thank you to everyone for coming? Mum. Both stand up. Go on.
I'm going to say thank you for you all coming this evening. This afternoon. To the tea party. And I hope you've all enjoyed yourself and thank you for all the presents you brought.
And I will second that.
I've got a wonderful husband. He's not only a husband, he's a friend as well. Okay?
We're going to get married.
We're going to get married.